Hello and welcome to Remote University. We are all about learning videos. If you are here first time, please subscribe to our channel. If you are an existing subscriber, welcome back. Let's get into the video. Thank you. In this video, we're going to talk about stock market for the beginners. So this video is all about the fundamentals of the stock market. So if you are new or trying to enter into the stock market, then this is the perfect video for you to get an idea of what is stock market. Before we go into the details, we want to call out that Remote University is not a registered broker dealer or registered investment advisor. You understand that the information furnished for your personal educational information purpose only, and no mention of any security or product constitutes. We recommend you to buy or sell or hold of any other security, that any particular security portfolio of securities transaction or investment strategy is suitable for any person. Features stocks options trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. The evaluation of features stocks and options may fluctuate, and as a result, clients, which is the people who are trying to play with them, may lose more than their original investment. So please understand that we are providing this as an educational or informational purpose only, which cannot be considered for doing real-time trading. So if you want to do that, please consult a registered investment advisor or registered broker dealers. What is stock market? You might be wondering, if you are new to stock market, what exactly happens here, because you might be hearing all sorts of buzzwords. People are buying stocks, people are selling stocks, the stocks is crashing. You might be hearing like, oh, that stock went up. People are trying to average. You might be hearing all sorts of buzzwords. Let's see like what exactly the stock market is. So if you are trying to understand what is stock market refers to the collection of markets and exchanges where regular activities of buying selling happens by the people like you and me. So stock market is a very generic term. Within that, there are so many markets involved where the users are buying and selling the stocks. What is stock exchange? Because after you saw what is stock market, and we said stock market consists of a group of stock exchanges, but what is stock exchange? The stock exchange is nothing but a facility where stock brokers, who are the brokers who are trying to uh, sell the stocks, and the traders who are trying to buy and sell the securities such as shares of stock and bonds. So basically the exchange where the buy and selling happens of the securities, which are nothing but shares of a stock of a company or a bond, depends on the type of asset that you're trying to buy or sell in the market. So basically it's an exchange where everything like this can happen. What are the different stock exchanges? Because we are saying it's a platform where people can come and buy or sell. So across the world, There are so many stock exchanges in America, North America. We have these famous stock exchanges like New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, which is mainly meant for technology stocks. And if you go to UK, there's a London Stock Exchange. And if you want, we go to Switzerland, there is a Swiss exchange. And if you go to Japan, there's a Tokyo Stock Exchange. So, so every country has their different stock exchanges where people are going and buying and selling the stocks. So it depends on the country where you live. You might be using one of the stock exchanges within the country. Now that you know there is a stock exchange exists where we can buy and sell stocks. But first of all, what is the stock or what is a share? You might be getting confused the difference between the stock and a share, right? So the stock of a corporation, let's say there's a company in which you are trying to, or you want to, or you are thinking of buying a stock of the company, where the stock of a corporation is all the shares into which the ownership of the corporation is divided. Meaning, let's say a company can be evaluated or quantified with a million stocks or million shares. Those million shares represents the company's ownership. Out of million, some might be held privately, some might be held by the promoters, some might be given to the public, where the public can come, buy and sell. So this is where we see a company stock or a share is listed in an exchange which can be purchased or sold as per the user's wish. So the shares of the company which we are talking about are collectively called as stock. So out of 1 million, when they list, each stock might have a value. Sometimes it can be 10 shares combined into one stock and listed there with a price which you can buy, or it can be 1:1 in most cases. So single share of the stock represents the fractional ownership of the corporation in proportion to the total number of shares. So if you have a share, that means you are having a share in the company. It can be a fractional share, or if you are rich enough to buy most shares. Sometimes some people, you might be reading in the news that so and so company or so and so person bought 5% of that company shares. So which could be very high value in terms of the amount that they're paying, but they can afford. So they're buying 5% of the share. So whereas the stocks are individual stocks, or single stock represents the fractional ownership of the corporation which you are trying to purchase. So stock or a share is nothing but the representation of the ownership of the corporation in which we are trying to invest by paying the money against the value of the stock which we are trying to buy within the exchange. So now that you know what is share and what is a stock, but how do you buy them? So we know that there is a stock exchange and there are stocks listed there for the corporations or companies. But how do we buy? How do we go and purchase those? So for that, we have stock brokers. Stock brokers are of two types. In the traditional olden days, there are more of physical, in person. You need to go to a exchange and pay the cash or call them, transfer the money, and then they will allocate some stocks based on the amount that you are able to afford. But nowadays, modern days, with the technology advancement, everything is online. So there is an app for everything. So same way, the stock brokers or agents are also now providing online platforms which you can use to buy or sell stocks. So there are so many. If you are in North America, there are famously used stockbrokers like E-Trade, Ameritrade, TD America, and nowadays the another most famous one was Robinhood. So there are so many stock agents which are providing online web applications or also apps to buy or sell stocks. So these are the various stock brokers that exist within the North America. After you start buying stocks, or after you open an account in one of those brokers, if you are trying to log in and trying to purchase stocks, you might also come across, or during the registration they might be asking, are you interested in enrolling to options? Then you might be questioning yourself like, I know stocks, I know shares, what is this option? So basically option is nothing but the contract that allows an investor to buy or sell underlying instrument like security, ETF, or an index at a certain price over certain period. So basically, like after you open the trading account and after you acquire some stake of the company, after you have some stocks which can be sold in a pack of hundreds, in a pack of hundreds, like each contract equals 100 stocks. And if you have, let's say, 500 stocks of a company, you can sell 5 contracts against those 500 stocks, which is nothing but 5 option contracts that you're trying to sell at a certain price and also at a over a certain period. So basically what you're trying to do here is you have stocks in your account and you're trying to write a contract against them saying I will sell this if it reaches certain price and for which you are expecting some premium to be paid today. Okay, so these are nothing but options. We will discuss more in detail in the next videos when it comes to the learning of these options. At the same time, like after you open the account, you might be coming across another term called ETF. You want to invest in ETFs along with the stocks and options. What is an ETF? ETF is nothing but exchange traded fund. This is also another way of investment which are offered through funds and traded on stock exchanges much like stocks. An ETF also holds assets such as stocks or commodities or bonds and also generally operates within mechanism designed to keep trading close to its net asset value. Okay, so basically these are nothing but the funds maintaining some assets in the form of stocks or commodities or bonds and then offering some level of service to buy or sell or invest in that fund which has these stocks or commodities with that specific company. So meaning the fund is nothing but a specific company formed with certain investment. Using that investment, the company is buying certain number of stocks or commodities or bonds, and then collectively that is being kept, and that collection is offered to the public to invest against that holdings, where the value of that collective nature is again split into multiple pieces. Each piece can be purchased just like a stock, which is known as ETF, exchange traded funds. So these are also a type of investment vehicles similar to stocks. So we can discuss again these specifics. What are the different ETFs, and how do we invest, and all that stuff in the following videos once we get into there. You also heard me saying bonds in the previous slides. What are the bonds? So why they exist basically? So the bond market, where we go and trade, meaning buy or sell, is against the debt, securities, prominently bonds, which may be issued by corporations or governments. So basically, like the companies will issue the debit securities or prominently bonds, which the common people go and buy or sell if you already have them. So this is also known as the debit market or credit market, based on the activity that you do. The securities or the bonds can be sold in the bond market, or all various forms of debt. So basically, like the bonds can be sold or purchased, similar to stocks, which are again having some value. So these can be issued by corporations, or even government can issue the bonds, which you can buy or sell. So each will have again some value. The value can appreciate or depreciate based on the underlying asset, which is nothing but the company which is issuing these debits. Okay, all right. So now that you went through the basics of the stock market, where you've seen what is stock market and what are the exchanges within the stock market, what is stock or share, you learn all those fundamentals. So if you like our video and if you learned something today, please like our video, and also let us know your feedback through the comments, and also please subscribe to our channel if you are the first time visitor of the channel. Again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.